You hear our weather team talk about it every single day, the aquifer, the water levels, and you know it's important. But how much do you know about how the aquifer functions? Who regulates it? Why do they regulate it? Well, that's the focus of today's KSAT Explains.
An awful lot of questions. And for this one, we tapped two members of our own team who know the aquifer quite well, meteorologist Justin Horn and Sarah Spivey. Here they are for this KSAT Explains.
The Edwards Aquifer stretches from Edwards and Kinney counties as far east as Travis County. It's comprised of three zones: the contributing zone, which can be found in the hill country, the recharge zone, and the artesian zone. Let's take another view, showing you a cross-section of the aquifer. When rain falls on the contributing zone, it flows down into the recharge zone. Think of all the porous limestone in Government Canyon, for example. When the rain falls directly on the recharge zone, it goes straight into the aquifer. Then pressure from all that water builds up in the artesian zone, which is where we access that water through wells. Now that's how the aquifer works today, but how it was formed goes back millions of years to a time when Texas was underwater and San Antonio was a beach.
You can see evidence of this in the form of dinosaur tracks at Government Canyon, believed to have been formed either on a muddy beach or on a sandy beach.
In those shallow seas, there were mollusks, clams, and other shellfish. When they died, their shells formed what is called karst, and that's what the aquifer is made of.
Karst is a porous limestone. Again, these are the fossilized remains of all of those mollusks and shelly creatures. And the porous nature of this is what houses the water.
That's what you can see of the aquifer above ground, but it goes a lot deeper.
Down in this cave in Comal County, it's like a history book of the aquifer.
So at one time, the cave was filled with water, and then as the water levels have dropped over geologic time, it's left these relics of conduits that move water through the system and that. And so these caves allow us to look at the fabric of the limestone to understand better how groundwater moves through the system, how it goes from recharge to discharge.
This cave was probably formed millions of years ago, which brings us back to that word again, karst.
Karst is a landscape that's characterized by sinkholes and sinking streams and caves and springs. It's also what we call a subsurface system that allows us to transport or move water through it very quickly, very rapidly.
This wall is a good example of what the aquifer would look like. You see it's kind of sponge-like. It has pockets here, and the water is in these pockets and then moves through the system, eventually discharged at the springs.
There are some of the caves in Bexar County and Medina Uvalde and Hayes County where we've been able to go through the cave down deep enough that we've actually seen the Edwards Aquifer itself.
Like many caves in the Texas Hill Country, this has a lot of tight spaces that we've been crawling through, but it opens up into bigger rooms like this one.
Past that, we come face to face with this guy, a tricolor bat. But it's species that live in the aquifer itself that led this natural wonder to be regulated by modern-day government.
The beginning really stems from a lot of conflict and controversy over what to do about this resource.
In the 80s, San Antonio was a rapidly growing city, and there was a concern. Was there enough water for everyone?
Then, much like now, there really weren't that many laws dictating how you could limit groundwater withdrawals. And so the Sierra Club in the 90s brought an endangered species suit, which was sort of the only way to go about something like that.
Perhaps the most well-known of those endangered species, the Texas blind salamander. Today, it is the poster child for aquifer conservation efforts, but it took several big steps to protect these tiny creatures, the first of which was a court ruling.
The judge said, look, Texas, you either need to manage this or the federal government and me are going to come in and do it. And so the legislature has never moved so fast, I don't think, in the history of Texas, because we got the Edwards Aquifer Authority.
And we have a three-pronged mission. 3 words: manage, enhance, and protect the Edwards Aquifer system.
The EAA is funded by permit fees. Those are fees paid by groups that pump water from the aquifer, SAWS being the group that pumps the most.
You hear us report the aquifer level every day, and from time to time, SAWS does implement water restrictions, but that's not to keep the aquifer from running dry.
Yeah, that actually won't happen in our lifetime. The reason that we have those in place is to keep the springs flowing in order to protect endangered species.
like the Texas blind salamander. It's one of 11 threatened, endangered, or petitioned to be endangered species that live in the springs of the aquifer.
So we have, 3 salamanders on there, we have fish species, we have Texas wild rice as a plant, and then we have a number of macroinvertebrates.
These biologists have the tedious but important task of leaving no stone unturned, literally to count Comal salamanders in New Braunfels. The flags show where they've spotted them.
A lot of people are very surprised that the limits that we have on watering are actually for these tiny little critters.
In 2013, the culmination was an agreement among the 5 permittees, the City of San Marcos, the City of San Antonio through SAWS, the City of New Braunfels, Texas State University, and the Edwards Aquifer Authority. Those 5 entities agreed to start the habitat conservation plan.
That plan is why these counts happen.
This is like a bigger one here.
If these creatures are healthy and thriving, it's a sign that the aquifer is too. The Texas blind salamander is considered so important, there's even a backup population just in case.
And the idea here is that if something catastrophic were to happen to the aquifer itself or the rivers that are fed, like the San Marcos River, we would have a population on station.
At the San Marcos Aquatic Resources Center, scientists feed and breed the Texas blind salamander and try to learn more about them. It's hard to know how big the population really is because they live deep underground in a pitch black aquifer that spans miles. But researchers do know this.
They have very permeable skin. Like if there's some contaminant in the water, it's going to permeate them too, right? Unlike us who have like very tough skin, who are very resistant to environmental changes, they're super sensitive to environmental changes.
In the end, the researchers and scientists who work with the aquifer believe conservation efforts to protect these species benefits all of us. And as San Antonio and surrounding cities keep growing, that work becomes even more crucial.
I think that the biggest challenge moving forward is making sure, as I've said, that the aquifer remains sustainable in the face of a number of different potential risks or threats. Climate change being one, but beyond that, what is happening in the region as a result of the development? As growth continues, for example, into the hill country, which is the catchment area for the Edwards, that's where all the water comes from that gets into the Edwards. What does that mean for us in terms of recharge to the Edwards? Is there a threat that the quality of water that gets into the aquifer is going to be compromised at some point?
Interesting stuff. To watch this or any other KSAT Explains episode, just scan this QR code. Our team is working on some brand new stories for the new year, which air on Mondays at 6:30 p.m. We'll be right back.
To be a photojournalism, it's so interesting.
It's not your ordinary job.
You're not asked to do the same thing on a regular basis.
We get called different things, cameraman, photographer, but our true meaning is a photojournalist.
Around America tonight, banking giant J.P. Morgan Chase is accused of benefiting from sex trafficking by billionaire Jeffrey Epstein. This all coming out after an attorney in the U.S. Virgin Islands filed suit Tuesday saying the bank failed to report suspicious activity. According to the lawsuit, human trafficking was the principal business of the accounts Epstein maintained at J.P. Morgan. The lawsuit accuses the bank of not complying with federal regulations and failing to make proper regulatory filings that could have tipped off the government to Epstein's alleged sex trafficking ring of underage girls.
In a move that will likely anger China, the Biden administration approving a potential $180 million arms sale to Taiwan. It comes amid ongoing tensions between the island and mainland China. The proposed sale, intended to help maintain political stability, military balance, and economic progress in the region. Washington has long provided arms to the island under the terms of the Taiwan Relations Act. There is bipartisan support for supplying Taiwan with weapons. But that said, China is unhappy for the help since it views Taiwan as part of China and does not want it militarily stronger.
Take a live look outside. What a difference a week makes. About 1 week ago, we were dealing with the big cold front coming in, and now we're at 66 degrees.
Exactly a week ago is when we saw that Arctic cold front move into south central Texas. We were seeing temperatures quickly fall below freezing. And of course, when you factored in that wind chill value, I mean, we were in the single digits last Friday in the morning. Nothing like that as we get ready to wrap up the final days of 2022. In fact, the warming trend, at least those warmer than average temperatures, those are going to continue over the next several days. Maybe a few sprinkles out there tomorrow. Not going to be for everybody, but we will see the sunshine return, especially on Saturday, and it'll be a little bit warmer there as well. We'll have those details after the break.
In the buzz today, firefighters in Fort Myers, Florida got quite an unusual call yesterday. Somebody stopped by the fire station asking for help after they found a snake in their truck's engine. The firefighters were able to remove the snake safely.
Nightmares. Turns out it's a ball python and likely someone's escaped pet, probably trying to stay warm. Firefighters contacted the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission. Attempts are now being made to find the ball python's owner. American Girl Dolls has unveiled their 2023 Girl of the Year. Meet Kavika Sharma, or Kavi for short. She's a spunky, Broadway-loving, dancing and singing girl, and it is the line's first ever South Asian character.
American Girl says Kavi lives in Metuchen, New Jersey. It's just a train ride away from New York City, where Kavi loves to see Broadway shows. American Girl announced it'll donate $25,000 in scholarships to kids to participate in Camp Broadway's summer programs in New York. The Kavi Sharma doll, plus the accompanying book, retails for $115.
Can be yours for the small price.
You're not going to buy one for your daughter.
She's a little too old for those now.
I had an American Girl doll.
A lot of kids.
Yeah.
We had several of them at the house for my daughter.
Somehow the American Girl cloud moved over my house and I never had to buy one.
Never did the American Girl dolls?
Didn't have to, no.
Well, yeah, that makes sense. All right, well, feel the humidity out there today?
Yeah.
A little bit?
Yeah.
Clutching the can of hairspray a little bit tighter than where we were yesterday. At least I was.
The death grip.
Yes, exactly. We had the humidity work back in overnight last night. That has been with us today. You've likely felt more of that muggy feel stepping outside. The cloud cover returned as well. A big difference compared to the beautiful blue skies and sunshine that we saw yesterday. But still, regardless of that cloud cover moving in, temperatures were able to climb above the average for this time of year. Highs were in the low to even a few mid 70s at times earlier this afternoon. 68 the temperature here this 6 p.m. hour over at San Antonio International, 66 in Canyon Lake, 63 in Bandera, 67 in Divine, and 66 over in Uvalde. Earlier this afternoon, especially in our far eastern counties, we had a few heavier downpours, a couple of isolated thunderstorms. That activity has moved out of our viewing area. We also had a few sprinkles in and around the San Antonio area. As of right now, we are pretty quiet out there on the radar. But the reason why some of that activity was able to at least pop up this Thursday, all thanks to that humidity. Taking a look at the change in dew points, how we measure the moisture and the low levels of the atmosphere, at least here closer to the surface. Now compared to where we were this time yesterday, still a little bit higher, but notice now creeping into the northwestern portions of Bexar County up into the hill country, slightly drier air trying to mix in, all behind a dry line. Now what we're going to find through the overnight hours, a little boundary is going to push through at least the majority of our region. And as those winds briefly flip in from the north, I think we'll try and mix in even more slightly drier air, especially by wake up time tomorrow morning. Earlier this morning, a few areas of fog. I don't think that's going to be as big of a concern for the morning drive tomorrow, but of course we will continue to keep eyes on it. Temperature wise, we'll start off in the 50s, so a big difference compared to earlier this week where we were well below freezing. Nothing like that here tomorrow, or really as we head into the weekend and early next week either. Again, we'll be around 53 here in town tomorrow morning. Some upper 40s possible up in the hill country, 55 in Pleasanton, 55 over over in Nixon as well as Floresville tomorrow. More cloud cover in store, maybe a few peaks of sunshine, especially by late afternoon. Overall, those daytime highs still warmer than the average, in the low 70s for most. I think north of Bexar County for places like Bulverde, Bernie, Canyon Lake, Kerrville, stretching over to Comfort, maybe just shy of that 70-degree mark, around 72 here in town for your Friday afternoon. We also will keep about a 10 to 20% potential for maybe a few sprinkles trying to mix in as well. That thanks to an area of low pressure that is going to be approaching West Texas overnight and tomorrow. I think this is a little overdone here, but still we'll keep eyes on the potential for maybe a few sprinkles before we wrap up the day into our New Year's Eve weekend. If you have any plans, it'll be nice out there. Mornings in the upper 40s, low 50s, still a little bit of a chill in the air, but then those afternoon temperatures still warming, mid and upper 70s. We're even approaching 80 by Monday, and that's also where we'll be monitoring for maybe a few isolated showers to a stray storm to kick off next week, guys.
Very nice. Thank you, Mia. In case you missed it's next.
It is Thursday, December 29th.
Tonight, we are still working to learn the names of a 19 and 25-year-old killed in a crash overnight. It happened around 2 o'clock this morning over on Braun Road near Loop 1604. It's over on the northwest side. According to San Antonio police, the driver lost control and slammed into a tree. He and his passenger died on impact.
14 drinks in just 4 hours. That's the description in the latest affidavit for San Antonio City Councilman Clayton Perry, who was booked yesterday on DWI. The DWI charge Perry faces is a result of the hit-and-run crash back on November 6th. He was followed, and eventually when SAPD caught up with him, the body cam footage showed him slurring his words. The District 10 councilman began a self-imposed leave of absence shortly after the release of that camera footage. If convicted on the DWI charge, Perry faces up to 6 months in jail and a fine of $3,000.
Comedian Bill Cosby wants to get back on the road and start doing stand-up again next year. He was on WGH Talk Radio earlier this week and was asked point blank if he wanted to tour again. His answer was a simple yes. A representative for Cosby also confirmed in a report that the comedian is looking at starting a tour in the spring or summer of next year. Cosby, who is 85, a zoo in Virginia is already celebrating the new year by welcoming a new baby hippo to the family. The baby pygmy hippo was born on December 6th, weighed over 16 pounds. She's expected to grow to 600 pounds as she reaches adulthood. Both mom and calf spending some quality time together before they make their first public appearance.
All right, low 50s tomorrow morning, low 70s tomorrow afternoon with the cloud cover, but the sunshine works back in by New Year's Eve. Really nice conditions, really, as we get ready to ring in the new year. Just a little bit warmer than average, guys.
Good job, Mia. Nice weekend.
Thanks so much for joining us.